Thank you, Rachel. And you were so right to invigorate the crowd to offer up huge congratulations and big applause to Diane for taking on such a challenging project, not only because she's taken on the long format, which in itself is challenging, but also because, sorry, I lost my place 1 second. But also because she chose such important and relevant content. Of course, tackling something very topical. Great subject choice. We're being bombarded right now with AI, so maybe we would think, well, no, it isn't such a great subject choice because it's AI overload on our brains. But no, Diane is attempting to deliver clarity. That's the idea of a 101. Take a step back and come in at it and explain concepts carefully. That's what she set out to do. And in general, I think she did a great job with that. Given this type of presentation, the use of visual aids, slides especially, they're very important to audience engagement. And I think in general, she did very well. These slides are very useful. They're useful without being cluttered. Each slide is comprehensible for the most part. The number and pacing of the slides was very good too. She wasn't blitzing through a bunch of slides. She lingered over slides and explained them well. There's a radio expression, dead air, and that's when nothing is happening, like when I lost my place just a moment ago. Dead air is not great in radio, is terrible in radio, and it's not great in speeches either. The only dead air here was right at the beginning, kicking off the presentation. And the antidote to that is to have that sharing set up in advance by already being in presentation mode and identifying the window that you'll be sharing rather than entering the slideshow and clicking into presentation mode. Little nuance for those of us who might be presenting. Quality control on the slides was very good, not perfect. A couple nitpicks. In the man versus machine slide, machine was truncated to the very intriguing word machi. So the robot was a thinking machi, or or words to that effect. And I found myself wondering what machi was. I found it actually quite intriguing. It was like, oh, dote, it's machine. Just, but it was actually kind of interesting, but a mild distraction. Let's talk about the amazing content of the speech. Diane attempted to set up our interest in AI by citing some of the building block concepts. She talked about the Turing test, which included the Machi machine, and she talked about ELIZA as an early implementation, and she talked about GPU versus CPU. I'm not sure I understood the linear connection or the relationship among those things or how specifically they led into what we have now. Maybe there was a little more explanation to do there to say we would know we have true AI when we can't distinguish. It just didn't get to me very clearly. Here's a minor improvement in the GPU versus CPU comparison, which I thought was excellent, by the way, but just a word choice. Talking about GPU, we said smaller, simpler processors and fewer powerful for CPU, but you need to offset those to make clear you're drawing a contrast. So you would ideally say smaller, but simpler, fewer, but more powerful, to show there's a trade-off there. I tell you, this wasn't AI 101. I'm pretty sure we went to AI 202, especially when talking about the architecture in great detail, maybe a little too much detail. So I noticed that the audience re-engaged after zoning out just a little bit when the example went up of the sentence being parsed out and then how the sentence additional information can be compared, the bright colors dissecting that sentence. that slide really popped. And it struck me then that what I'm learning from Diane about giving long presentations is dive into concept, but pull back to example. Concept, example. That'll be a pattern that keeps your audience engaged. Diane was spectacular tonight, and we're all grateful. And looking forward to seeing this one online in our YouTube channel. Thank you, and back to you, Rachel.